Many people believe rich and wealthy mean the same thing, yet history shows a powerful difference between income today and security tomorrow. One person earns enormous income each month, while another quietly owns assets that grow, compound, and multiply across decades. From the outside, they may look similar, but their financial structures, stability, and long-term outcomes are dramatically different. Understanding this contrast between being rich and being wealthy changes how people think about money, work, and time. And once you see the pattern clearly, the difference becomes impossible to ignore. In this episode, we explore the difference between being rich and being wealthy through history, psychology, and the structure of long-term financial systems. First, we examine how societies across centuries defined wealth compared to income and visible riches. Next, we analyze the components that separate temporary financial success from durable wealth that grows across time. Finally, we consider why human psychology often pushes people toward looking rich instead of quietly becoming wealthy. In modern culture, success is often measured by visible signals such as income, luxury spending, and lifestyle displayed on screens. Social media amplifies this pattern, creating the impression that financial success must always look dramatic and immediate. Yet economists, historians, and long-term investors often describe wealth in a completely different way. Wealth is usually quiet, structural, and slow-moving, built through accumulation rather than constant spending. This contrast between appearance and structure is why many people misunderstand the difference between rich and wealthy. To understand the distinction clearly, we must step back and examine how earlier civilizations defined wealth. In ancient Rome during the 1st century, wealth was measured less by income and more by land, resources, and enduring ownership. Roman senators often held vast estates that produced crops, rents, and labor value across generations. Even if yearly earnings fluctuated, the underlying assets continued producing value over time. Centuries later, in the year 1600, European merchant families built fortunes through ships, trade networks, and ownership. Their wealth was not simply the profit of a single voyage, but the expanding system that generated profit repeatedly. By the 19th century Industrial Revolution, wealthy families owned factories, railways, and infrastructure that produced income continuously. Workers could earn high wages and appear rich, yet owners of productive assets accumulated far greater long-term power. This historical pattern repeated across centuries. Income creates riches, but ownership structures create wealth. Understanding that difference explains why some fortunes last decades, while others disappear within a single generation. Being rich usually describes a situation where someone earns or controls a large amount of money right now. Income flows quickly through this structure, often tied to a profession, business activity, or performance in the present moment. When the activity stops, the income may slow or disappear entirely. Wealth, by contrast, is built from assets that continue producing value even when the owner is not actively working. These assets form layers within a financial structure, creating stability, optionality, and resilience over long timelines. The difference, therefore, is not simply about money, but about systems that generate money repeatedly. Rich focuses on earnings today, while wealth focuses on accumulation and compounding across decades. This structural contrast explains why two people with similar incomes can experience completely different financial futures. One structure consumes resources quickly, while the other slowly multiplies them. Human psychology plays a powerful role in why people pursue looking rich instead of building wealth. Our brains evolved to value visible status signals because status improved survival within ancient social groups. Modern environments still trigger these instincts, encouraging spending that creates immediate social recognition. This emotional pattern can lead to a common mistake, equating visible lifestyle with financial strength. In reality, appearance often reflects consumption, not accumulation. Psychologists describe this as a signaling bias, where people prioritize external signals over internal stability. Fear of missing out, comparison with peers, and emotional spending reinforce this behavioral loop. The result is a cycle where people attempt to display wealth rather than quietly construct it. Breaking that cycle requires understanding the deeper principles behind long-term financial systems. The first principle is recognizing that income and wealth operate on different timelines. Income is immediate and visible, while wealth grows slowly through accumulation and compounding. Second, wealth depends on ownership structures rather than continuous personal effort. Third, durable financial systems usually include multiple layers that produce value from different sources. These layers create resilience, meaning a single disruption does not destroy the entire structure. Here is a common myth: high income automatically leads to wealth. History repeatedly shows that income alone does not guarantee long-term accumulation. Another misconception is believing wealth must always appear visible and extravagant. In reality, many wealthy individuals live far below what observers might expect. Their financial systems quietly grow through time rather than broadcasting success through consumption. The final principle is patience, because wealth accumulation usually unfolds across decades rather than months. When people understand this difference, their perspective on money begins to shift. Instead of focusing only on earnings, attention moves toward structures that accumulate value over time. This mindset emphasizes systems, ownership, and patience rather than short-term signals of success. Over long horizons, small structural differences can lead to dramatically different financial outcomes. That is why economists often describe wealth as a process rather than a moment. The process is gradual, structural, and often invisible while it is happening. Consider this question carefully. Would you rather appear rich today or quietly become wealthy over time? One path emphasizes immediate recognition, while the other emphasizes long-term independence. History suggests that durable prosperity usually follows the slower path. Understanding that distinction can reshape how people think about work, time, and money. Being rich is often about income and appearance, while being wealthy is about systems that grow and endure. This is Wealth Lexicon. Education only, not financial advice.